And so we're gonna find some Creative Commons licensed sound to use. So just like our art or anything else you might use in a project, you want to make sure that you have the right to use it. So we don't want to just throw random stuff into our projects. So there's a lot of different places to find music and sounds. Let's go here. So a couple of good places to find background music are the Free Music Archive. This is not specific to games, but it just has a lot of music that's published with Creative Commons licenses. It looks like they've actually changed their design a little bit, so hopefully it still works the same way. And then Open Game Art is a good place to find sound that's designed specifically for games, as well as art and sound effects and other things. But in here, you can see this is music. So there's lots of different files with different types of music that you can preview and then download. So the Open Game Art, you can just listen to some music. Sorry, it's a bit loud. Turn it down just a bit. And then if you find a song that you like, you can click on the song, and usually it'll have some information about the license, and then there's usually a download. So this has a few different tracks: title screen, level 1, level 2, level 3, ending. And the creator has their email, so they say if you use this in a game, send them an email. And then the license is Creative Commons 0, so that's the most permissive license. It means you don't have to give credit or do anything else, but it's always good to give credit if you use somebody else's work. And then there's a download file here. For Free Music Archive, I like to use the genres as a way to browse. And they've updated their interface. So it used to be a little bit simpler. It didn't have all these images, but we can still find stuff on here. So if I was looking for some background music for my game, depending on what I'm going for, I might want different qualities of music. So I'm just going to choose classical just as an example. And then it's going to give me some examples. So there's some tracks down here. And then there's different types of classical music. So we can, subdivide the genre even further. So let's say chamber music. I think that'll be fun. And then we can listen to the examples. So I like that, but it's only 18 seconds long, so that's not going to be great for my game. So let's try another one. That's kind of nice, but it's a little too serious for my game. Let's see what this one sounds like. Also quite serious. But anyway, we can, go through and listen to lots of different songs. I won't spend too much time here because you guys can listen to your songs and find something on your own. So I'm just going to go ahead and go with the second one. So if I click on the title of the song, that will bring me to the page for the song, and I can see some information. And usually it'll tell me the Creative Commons license. So this is a Creative Commons 4.0. And so if we click on this, it'll tell me what the rules are. So 4.0 is a little bit more restrictive than the 0 license that we saw before. So this says that we can share and adapt, which is good. That's what we want to do with it. But there's some terms. We have to give attribution to the creator. So that's fine. And then it's also a non-commercial license. So we can't use this in a commercial project. So since we're just making a student project, this is not an issue. But if you ever decided to try to sell the game, then you'd have to use some other type of sound. So we do have to give attribution to this creator. So I'm going to want to remember where I got this music from, and I'll probably put it in like my itch page when I publish it or something like that. So before I download this, I want to make sure that I don't forget where this is and how I can give credit. So I'm actually going to just take some notes on this and put that into my project. I'll do that in a second when I switch over to sharing my whole screen. So for now, I'm just going to download this and then I'll switch over. So it'll come up and it'll tell me the conditions and I'll say I understand and agree. And now I've downloaded an MP3 file onto my computer. And most of the songs that you download are probably going to be in MP format. If they're not, that's okay. You can always convert to MP3 format. You might get a WAV file or something like that. And Godot can play MP3s, waves, or OGG files. So we'll try to find examples of all of those in these couple demos. Okay, so I've downloaded my file. I'm going to switch over to broadcasting my whole screen. So people on Discord probably won't be able to hear what I'm playing, but that should be okay for the rest of this bit. Okay, so I've downloaded my file and I want to take some notes so I don't forget where I found this. So let's move this over here. And usually what I do is I just make a text file and save it inside of my game project. So in Windows, I'm just going to open the basic text editor. So I'll open up Notepad. And you can really use any text editor for this. If you're on Mac, you could use TextEdit. That'd probably be the easiest one to use. And so I'm just going to go ahead and save this first. And I'll go to my desktop and find my game project. And I'll put this in the game. And I'll go to my audio folder. And I'll just call this notes.txt. And so I'll say background music 1. In case I use more background music later, I'm going to copy this and paste it in here. And then I'm just going to write down the name of the artist and the song name. So this way, if I publish my game on itch or another website later, I won't have to like try to remember where I found this. I can just go to my notes and copy this into the page where I publish the game later. So we'll actually see this when we do this next week. Okay, so I've got some music. So I can get out of my browser. I'm going to close this. And I'm going to go to Godot. And this part is pretty easy just for playing background music. We don't really have to do a whole lot. We just have to add a sound node into our scene. So I'm going to go to edit my scene in Godot. And I'm going to choose my first level, since that's what I've been working on most recently. I'm going to go to scenes and go to levels and open up level 1. And so if I want some background music in here, I'm just going to have this music play regardless of where I am in the scene. You could have different music that's positionally located in different parts of your scene. But to keep things simple, I'm just going to have one song for the scene. So I'm going to click on my main level node and click the plus button to add a new node. And for this one, I'm going to choose an audio stream player. And if I want it to be positional, I would do audio stream player 2D. But I don't want that for now. I just want a regular audio stream player. So I'm going to click on audio stream player and click create. And I'm going to rename this node background music. And then actually I have to put the file into Godot. I forgot to do that. So let's go back to the desktop. And I'll just open up my project and go to audio. And then I'll get another Finder window open or File Explorer. And this should be in my Downloads folder. So there it is. So I'll just drag this over to my audio folder in Godot. So then it'll load into Godot. So I'm just going to close these, go back to Godot. Whoops. Okay, looks like Godot crashed. Not sure why that happened, but let's just open it again. So now if I open the audio folder, there you can see that track that I just downloaded. It has kind of a long name, so we can't see the whole thing, but there it is. And depending on what type of file you downloaded, you may want to go to the Import tab and check the presets. So right now it's set to loop, which is good since it's background music. If it ends, I want it to start over again, so I'll just leave that as is. And Godot will usually import MP3s with the loop set on, and other types of sound with the loop set off. Because usually for background music, we'll use the MP3. For sound effects, the files are much smaller, so using a wave is fine for that. So let's go back to my level 1, and didn't save my background music node, so let's just add it in again. So I'm going to choose the main node, click the plus button, type in audio, and get my audio stream player again, and rename this background music. And now I can add a song, kind of like how I add a texture to a sprite. I go over to the inspector, and in my audio stream player, the first object or the first field here is the stream. Right now it's empty, so I'll click on that and click load, and then go to my audio folder and choose the file that I just downloaded. And then here I can set the volume. And since it's background music, I'm definitely going to want to turn the volume down. The way that volume is measured on the computer is 0 is like the regular loudness. That's how loud you want it to be when you play it. So if I want something quieter, I go negative. And so you should never really go above 0. But if you want something to be quiet, we can go below 0. So I can say I'm probably going to want like negative 24 for my background music. You can also change the pitch of the background music or any file. So I could like pitch it up or down. I'm not going to bother with that for now. And then I have a couple of fields here playing and autoplay. I'm going to turn autoplay on so that it starts playing as soon as the scene starts. And other than that, I think I don't really have to do much else here. So let's see if this works. People on Discord probably won't hear this, but people in the classroom should. So let's see if that plays. It was pretty quiet, but we can hear it playing. And it's getting a little bit louder. It's not exactly the best fit for this particular game, but sounds good. And so that's how we add background music. So we only have one level right now, but you could add different songs to different levels. You could switch songs in the middle of the level if you want to. There's a lot of different things that you could do with the background music. I'm going to stop here. And on Thursday, we'll add some sound effects. So we'll do a lot of this similar stuff, but we'll connect the sounds to our scripts so that they play when something happens in the game. So I'm going to stop recording.